More and more exotic animals are being adopted as pets by wealthy and powerful individuals. For them, having a unique and different species on the planet is synonymous with a good financial position. However, in most countries, it is illegal to own such a creature if it is not ensured an ideal habitat, whether natural or improvised. If you manage to obtain the necessary accreditation and complete all the paperwork, then you can consider this video to learn about the most exotic animals that could be your pets. So, let's get started. The ball python is also considered a pet. Even though this reptile grows disproportionately, enthusiasts of thrills and adrenaline decide that these creatures can be part of their homes. However, if you are one of those daredevils, you must take into account the great responsibility this entails for yourself, your family, friends, and neighbors. The danger with these animals is always present. This space needed for just one of them in a terrarium is a minimum of 3 feet long, 2 feet high, and 1 foot deep, with a constant temperature and humidity to separate their environment from your home. When small, it will feed on mice, then on frozen or live rats, and later on rabbits when it reaches adulthood. If you want to acquire one of these pythons, you can do so in 2 ways: by visiting a reptile shelter or going to an accredited animal center specializing in these creatures, with proper identification. The fennec fox is an animal that can be easily domesticated. It is the smallest of canids, even smaller than a chihuahua. It is a very cute, clean, and affectionate species. However, adopting one is a decision that could seriously affect its lifespan. This creature is native to the Sahara Desert and the Arabian Peninsula. It has a dense in-colored coat on its back and a whitish-gray belly that lightens on its dorsal side. It is nocturnal, and its diet consists of reptiles, insects, rodents, eggs, birds, etc., and special fruits like berries, dates, and mulberries. Despite its size, it has an incredible jumping ability that will surely leave you amazed. It uses this skill for hunting or escaping when attacked by predators. In the wild, it lives for approximately 10 to 12 years, and if cared for by humans, it will live at most half of that time. Bearded dragons still exist, and in this case, they are also affectionate. This species is one of the types of lizards that has gained popularity as exotic pets in recent decades. They are small, have a docile character, and possess a high level of sociability. Unlike their cousins, the iguanas, which are larger and territorial, bearded dragons can be easier to handle and care for than others in their family. To provide them with a healthy life and optimal physical development, you need to offer them decent conditions, as this will be where they spend their best years. After deciding where in the house they will be, you need to get a terrarium and provide them with a feeder and a waterer, as well as furnish it with branches, artificial plants, stones, caves, shelters, anything to allow them to rest peacefully. Additionally, remember that their diet is omnivorous, so you should give them a balanced diet, including animal proteins, fruits, and vegetables. If you fulfill these requirements, you can have your little friends for about 15 years. Chinchillas are small, very sociable rodents, and once they feel comfortable, they can be really affectionate and adorable if you pet them and reward them with treats. They have a dense and silky fur that cannot be distinguished from wild species. For this reason, it is not advisable to handle them excessively. They are intelligent animals that will show through squeaks or affectionate bites if they feel happy, active, sad, or sleepy. If you want to have one of these little creatures, remember that they are herbivores, so they can eat any type of edible vegetable and occasionally a tiny insect. They also enjoy alfalfa, drinking water, and having fun whenever they can. Something to keep in mind is that they are very sensitive to heat waves, and some of them can die as a result of this. Therefore, you will need cages for them to be in cool and dry places. Capybaras are the largest rodents in the world. They come from Central and South America and can be a domesticated species. Contrary to popular belief, they are clean and friendly creatures as long as a set of important rules are followed. The first thing to consider if you want one is living in a group, with only males leading a solitary life. Therefore, if you only want to buy one, it's better to get a male or get a pair and combine them with a female. It is recommended to have them sterilized because this can prevent them from becoming aggressive in adulthood, and this process should be done between the first 6 and 9 months of birth. Under human care, these friends have a lifespan of 10 years, almost triple what they could have in the wild, where they only live for 4 years, as they fall victim to predators like jaguars, pumas, caimans, among others. Skunks are considered potential pets, as they are said to be affectionate and very loyal friends. They are found in America and Asia. They have only 2 colors, black and white, and stand out because the white color extends in a stripe to their tail. The tail has long, thick fur that is even longer than the rest of their body. Typically, in their wild habitat, skunks live in burrows they build themselves and feed on other small mammals, birds, honey, eggs, and fruits. One of the most notable aspects of skunks is the pungent odor they emit when they feel threatened. This odor is so powerful that it can linger in a place for 2 to 5 weeks. While they may have an excellent relationship with humans and be genuinely affectionate, The thought of them spraying their scent all over the place should be carefully considered. A kinkajou is a species of carnivorous mammal distributed from Central America to Brazil, and it can be kept as a pet in human homes as it loves to play and ride on people's shoulders. It is a small animal measuring between 40 and 60 centimeters, weighing between 2 and 5 kilograms, and bears a resemblance to raccoons. Their large eyes might make you fall in love with them, giving them a touch of cuteness. They have a thick, short, and velvety grayish fur, and their tail is even longer than the rest of their body. In their natural habitat, they tend to be quite solitary, making them more easily domesticated. Similar to some monkeys, they love being in the arms of humans. To have them at home, there should be a warm climate, and it's not advisable to have more than one due to their preference for solitude. Hedgehogs are a pet option on continents where their species is endemic, such as Africa, Europe, and Asia. They are such calm animals that they can coexist perfectly even with dogs and cats. These mammals have a very atypical figure for a pet, as they are completely covered in spines and measure a mere 20 centimeters on average, meaning they could easily hide in a corner of the house. Unlike porcupines, hedgehog spines do not harm as they are not sharp. They are simply beautiful hollows that contain keratin to keep them rigid. These animals require some special care, especially regarding the climate, as they are very sensitive to seasonal changes. The constant temperature they should inhabit is between 25 and 27 degrees Celsius. At home, hedgehogs should have access to as much space as possible, as confinement can cause them stress. They should also be offered a balanced diet of fruits and insects, without it being too much in a day, as gaining weight is a factor that greatly reduces their quality of life, and ideally, they should be fed once a day. The genet is an animal very similar to domestic cats, but slightly larger. This species inhabits forests and meadows, but historically was kept as a pet. They belong to the vivarid family and generally inhabit regions like the Iberian Peninsula, France, and the Balearic Islands. They tend to be a bit longer than a common cat, measuring between 50 and 60 centimeters. The genet is an animal very similar to domestic cats, but slightly larger. They weigh between 1.5 and 2.5 kilograms. Their fur can be yellowish or grayish with round black spots. Genets do not behave much differently from their feline relatives, and although they become a bit aloof with age, their bite and scratches are not fatal to humans and can be domesticated. In their natural environment, genets have a lifespan of approximately 10 years, but if raised in a home, they can live even up to 20 years. Sugar gliders are a species with nocturnal habits that typically live in tree nests but can adapt well to human customs. These small friends resemble lemurs, measuring between 14 and 20 centimeters on average and weighing between 80 and 160 grams. Their tail is as long as the rest of their body, and their head with a pointed snout, larger eyes, and ears gives them an endearing appearance. When in their natural environment, they usually inhabit tree hollows and live in small populations of 6 to 10 individuals, but they can be as homey as a dog or a cat. However, they retain their nocturnal habits and must live in a part of the house where the sun does not disturb them. Domestic nutrition for sugar gliders must be balanced, including plenty of protein, as they may suffer from malnutrition otherwise. These curious creatures can glide thanks to a membrane on each side of their body that extends and moves. It also extends from their front legs to the hind legs, so it's like having a kind of flying squirrel in your home. And well, that's it for today. If you loved this video, don't forget to share it with your friends and follow us to learn new curiosities every week. This is Hallucinated, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.